All right, so we've learned two things. I'm going to take back a little bit of a rant that I gave last year at some point, and I'm going to show you why that is. So let's see here. We are looking at, let me turn this around. We're looking at Rolled, the DRT 450. And Rolled here decided to kill his battery again, but I think I know what's going on. And I think I have a solution, because you see here the arms are down. And you see that red bar right there that's crossing right there? I can't actually open the hood. But what you might notice, and what you may have noticed when I didn't notice this, when I was frustrated last time, is that there's this little bolt-on access panel. I've got 4 of the bolts out right now, and 2 still in. I'm going to pull that out, and that will allow me to just barely probably reach the battery right down there and put on some cables to jump it. So I'm going to do that here in a moment. I'm going to jump it. I'm going to get it started, get it charging its own battery. So here's the deal. I think the transformer or power converter inside that takes the energy, converting it to AC, or AC energy converting it to DC rather, to charge the battery, I think that's working fine. I think it's working fine. But here's what I think. Back here, there is 3 fun little lights. The engine oil pressure indicator, the oil cooler indicator, and the electrical indicator. And up until yesterday, the electrical indicator was on when I had the key on and the thing plugged in and all the stuff. And Rolled's been running great for like 2 major sessions out here, full time. But what happened yesterday for some reason, and it's probably normal, but what happened was the oil cooler indicator came on, and underneath here is a big radiator system and a big ass fan. And that thing, every time the ignition was on, it was on. And I think that it draws more power than the electrical system of this little Honda motor can output to recharge the battery. And so it's drawing down the battery while it's running. So when you're working Rolled hard, or this DRT 450 hard, I think that's just too much for the little system. That's not to say there's a fault in the system. It's just to say that when the 450s start to work hard and that fan comes on, it's going to draw the battery down. Now, what I'm going to do to make my life a little easier is either leave that panel off. I probably won't do that. I'll probably put at least 2 bolts back in so it keeps it covered and keeps debris out of that compartment. Or I'm going to put back here underneath this little access panel a little positive terminal connection point somewhere. And there might actually be one back here. I'm going to put a positive terminal connection point back here somewhere so that I can trickle charge the battery while Rolled is not in use, so that on heavy use days when it's drawing down and trying to charge, it has a chance. And that way it won't be a problem for me again. But I don't think that it's a faulty system. I just think that there's too many things using electrical power on the 12 volt and it can't charge it fast enough. But all in all, look, here's another story, okay? Let's take a look at some progress that I made. I used the bucket on Rolled here, and with its tracks, let's talk about the track derailing issue that I keep running into. So down here on the ground, well, the truck's on it right now, on some of it, but right here, for example, right here, is a log. It's a root, actually, sticking out. And just in front of that is some of the old tree that I had cut down. There's another one here. You can't quite see it. It's under the dirt, buried right now. But under the truck, there's a whole bunch of trees that I had cut down. Yesterday, I was doing a little bit of leveling here. This is, by the way, next to the outhouse. So down here, I was doing a bit of leveling. It's not perfectly level yet. It's just very rough. But I was doing this because this is where we're going to put the trailer so that we're closer to the outhouse, as I mentioned last time. And it did great. Rolled did great. The little DRT 450, it cut back part of this berm really, really well. It doesn't have the power and the lifting capacity that Stewart's got. That's to be expected. But here's the deal. Here's the part of the story that matters. I've been rolling over those roots underneath the truck here. I've been rolling over those roots now for a minute. All night last night, back and forth, cross roots, uneven terrain, hitting sticks, intentionally rolling over sticks. Just wanted to see if it's actually going to throw anything. And yeah, I mean, there's roots all along this little road here. And not a single time did the 450 even sound like it was going to throw a track. Not one time. It worked a treat. I think the track design on the 450, being a shorter track base and just how the wheels are designed, may be a little bit superior to the 1000. I don't know for sure, but the 1000 has thrown tracks, gosh, 6 times now for me, and I'm learning how to stop that. Let's be real. I've looked at your comments. I read the comments. I commented back to some of y'all, and I understand it's operator error probably, but I got to be real. I got to treat Stuart like a little princess. It doesn't like the roots. I got to be careful. But rolled, man, just doesn't care. Drive all over the place. Drive up my little embankment. No, you can't. Drive up my little embankment here. Doesn't care. Drive on uneven terrain over here. Drive across roots. Abuse it. My wife's been using it to go and do all kinds of brush cutting. It doesn't care. Rolled is just a beast in that capacity. It's underpowered for some of the things we're trying to do with it, but you know what? It's getting the job done, and it's not throwing tracks. So if y'all are on the fence about what to buy, look, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you don't need the power and all you need to do is move, some light things around and do a little bit of light digging, man, those 450s are amazing. If you need some heavier workloads, the thousands, the V1000, it is also amazing. I can't speak to the new 1100s, but that 1000, it's doing the job. Stuart is kicking tail, but you got to be a little careful about them tracks. You got to watch that uneven terrain. On uneven muddy soil, it's fine. When there's roots, you hit something hard, guaranteed the V1000 is going to throw that track. But the 450, it's just fine. It's doing great. Loving it. I was impressed. I don't like the controls on it personally, but that's just a personal preference. My wife prefers the controls on the 450 and hates the controls on the 1000. So to each their own. It is what it is. All right, that's just a quick little update. Figured I'd update my little rant that I gave last time about the battery issues on the 450 and the track issues on the 1000. But yeah, it is what it is. Hope y'all have a great day. Have a blessed Memorial weekend. And yeah, thank you, troops. Appreciate y'all.